Today's knife is one that offers you a lot for very little money, so don't go away. Hey, I'm Jay, and if you're looking to buy a knife and you need to see what it's like first before you drop your hard-earned money on it, here's what you got to do. Click on subscribe so I can help you, and remember to click that bell notification so you don't miss a thing. You should be looking at the specs right about now, so those of you interested, good spot to pause. So as usual, we'll go over what I like and some of the potential deal breakers that I see of this FURA-Gear folding knife. But first, why don't we get the knife comparisons out of the way? And I'm going to go ahead and start out with the CH3504. How about gonna toss the Benchmade Bug Out in there, and this one too, Spyderco Para 2, and ooh, how about this one, the Tangram Santa Fe, and let's do one more. I'm feeling kind of dangerous today. The of course, Buck 110. FURA-Gear, for whatever reason, does not really associate names or even model numbers with their knives. I have no idea why. Could you imagine, like, working in, I don't know, like shipping department at FURA-Gear? Hey, yeah, we need to, somebody just bought a knife. Somebody just bought a FURA-Gear, so go and pull that off the shelf and we ship it out to them. Which one? Yeah, so when you watch other other knife channels and they're doing reviews on their FURA-Gear knives, you'll hear most of those creators will just say, you know, like FURA-Gear folding knife or FURA-Gear knife, because they don't use names or model numbers. Yes, maddening. So let's get started with the where I always do, being the blade shape specifically. I really like this flat ground drop point, and you can see it does have a very grainy kind of stonewash finish. Actually, you know what this blade shape reminds me of is the Zero Tolerance 0220. Very similar shape here. The 4mm, yep, I said 4mm blade thickness. Yeah, that is just a big hunk of D2 blade steel, which this is. The action is pretty darn good. It really is. And of course, that is going to be because of the ball bearing pivot that this blade is riding on, and the decently strong detent. Yep, you cannot, and I'm really trying here, unable to shake this one loose, which really, if you think about it, is very impressive, because, okay, you're looking at, this is a 3.5-inch blade, 4mm thick. That is a big, heavy blade, yet the detent is able to hold it in there. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely impressed by that. The deployment, push button really is going to be your best option here. I have tried it with the light switch, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That one it did. One more light switch. Okay, maybe I'm lying to you guys, but anyway, I have noticed that the push button seems to work the best on this guy. Once this blade is deployed, it looks like, yeah, that's a little bit late. I don't know, what do you guys think? About 50% lockup on this. Let's check out the centering, and I think it was pretty damn good. Oh yeah, wow. Yeah, that is just about just about perfect. Now, I, of course, am a left-handed individual, so when I am deploying a frame lock knife, I always like to place my thumb on that lock bar. And some knives are able to still deploy it, others you can't. I'm happy to report with this you can. So watch, I'm gonna have my thumb kind of resting there on the lock bar, and yes, and deployment is still very, very good, which is again very, very impressive considering the detent has decent strength. You can do that, I don't know, for those of you that like to do that thumbnail closure. However, this is not really dropping shut yet, so you are going to have to do quite a bit of shake and bake there to close it, if that's how you like to close your knife. So no, not dropping shut just yet. These titanium scales, yes, I did say titanium, they are super, super comfortable. I mean, there is absolutely no sharp edges anywhere. Everything is either rounded or chamfered as it should be. The traction, so you see with the holes, these air holes on the sides, and got some on this side as well. Traction's pretty good. It's not bad at all. No, I like it. And you can see with my medium-sized hand, can fit all of my fingers on there, no problem. Did you notice that though on the lock bar side? You see that little like this cutout? It looks like, to me anyway, that is there to kind of enhance your grip. I really like it because, again, as a lefty, it gives me a spot just to rest my thumb. For you righties, I guess that would be what, like your fingertips right about there. There is only one body screw. Look at that. So this thing is going to be relatively simple to disassemble. Now if we go ahead and just close this up, I want to show you the handle thickness. You're really only looking at, it is over a ½ inch, but just barely at 0.51. I honestly, when I saw this knife, I thought for sure that it would be just like total chunk style, but no. Actually, it is not that bad at all. The closed width is a very, very pocket-friendly 1.09 inches. So this is not going to take up a ton of room in your pocket. Let me go ahead. I want to grab the scale. Let's see how much this is going to weigh you down. Okay, so let's go ahead and toss this up on the scale. Ooh, that's not bad. 4.6 ounces. Wow, that is not bad. That's going to be what we could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 AA batteries, or I believe this one is pretty close, and it is the Cold Steel Ultimate Hunter, almost the exact same weight. And lastly, to finish up this section of likes is going to be, we're going to talk about the price. Now, this is the very first knife that has been supplied to me by GearBest. So, I highly recommend that if you're feeling this, if you really, really like it, I will include a link down below. You click on it, it will take you to GearBest's website, better yet, right to the page so you can purchase this knife if you like it. And you will see on GearBest's website, this is going to cost you $33. 33 bucks. Now, that is for titanium scales. That is for ball bearing pivot and D2 blade steel for $33. That, to me, is just a fantastic price. Now, unfortunately, we do have to get into some of the potential deal breakers. Before we do, I just want to quickly remind you to go ahead and click on that subscribe button if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. First potential deal breaker is going to be regarding the pocket clip. Yeah, it is. Now, this is going to be tip up only, and that is exclusively for righties. Nope, no left-handed option, and this is going to leave quite a bit of handle kind of sticking out of your pocket. So no, it is not at all, deep carry. Now, if you look at the blade, you can see there is no text of any kind anywhere on this blade. I get, the whole minimalist style approach, but to be honest, I at least like to see, it's comforting to see like the steel designation, or I know I said earlier FURA-Gear doesn't really use names or model numbers, but you know what, at least like a model number, and at the bare minimum the what steel that this is made out of. Not a huge deal, but just something I want to point out. Now, I did mention that this should be fairly easy to disassemble. Unfortunately, I was unable to do so because, as you can see, it takes a T8 on this side and on this side. So when I would turn one, the other side would rotate as well. I even tried with two T8s and was still unable to get this apart. So I'm probably going to have to use like maybe my soldering iron and like heat up the pivot screw just a little bit and then see if I can get it to break free. But at least with my example, I was unable to get this apart. There is absolutely no jimping anywhere on this knife. And not that it necessarily needs it, but for those of you that like jimping, I just want you to be aware that you will not find any here. So where does that leave us with the FURA-Gear folding knife? I really, really like this knife, especially at $33 friggin'. I really like it. Now, if you have ever held, or if you own the full-size Kizer Dukes, I'm not talking about the smaller Vanguard version, but the big one, the big Bladesmith, $220, titanium scales, S35BN blade. This, if you have ever have any experience with that Kizer Dukes, then you will be very familiar with this knife, because it feels, just the size and the feel of it is so similar